7 ways to make your startup pitch stand out with one foolproof way to do it. You need to stand out to investors if you're going to raise funding. However, you don't want to stand out in the wrong way. You do want to stand out in the right way. And that's what today's video is all about. In today's video, I'll give you 7 tips that are easy to implement on how to stand out to investors in a good way. Plus, stick around for my one final thought when I give you a foolproof way to make your pitch stand out. I hope you like it. Hi, I'm Brett. On my channel, I help early stage startup CEOs like you raise money and grow your startup. So if this sounds like you, then hit the subscribe button and the bell so you get notified every time I release a new video. Let's get started. There are 2 great things about the 7 tips I am sharing with you today. The first thing is that these tips are easy to implement. The second thing is these tips will differentiate you in a good way from most other startup CEOs. So let's go to tip number 1. Number 1, prepare, prepare, and prepare some more. I'm going to start with a quick story. Years ago, when I was a young product manager, the company I was working with had a weekend sales training for the worldwide sales force. I was supposed to give the same presentation to 7 different groups of salespeople. I don't know why, but I didn't spend any time preparing. The result was a complete disaster. I started uncontrollably stuttering. It was so bad that every one of the 7 groups was laughing at me. I didn't respect the audience, and I paid the price. However, something great came out of this experience. I started rehearsing any presentation I did multiple times. And I went further than that by recording my practice presentations. Then I would listen to the recordings and I would make whatever changes I needed to make. Then I would keep repeating this process until I was happy with the presentation. If you take no other step, then take this step. You will improve a lot. Now let's move on to number 2. Number 2. Make your pitch personal. And the more personal you make your pitch, the better. I've literally reviewed and seen over 1,000 pitches in my career. Most pitches you see are like this. My company has a widget that solves this problem. We're going after a big market, and here's how we stack up to the competition. And the problem is that it's boring. And the reason that it's boring is because it's not personal. Make your pitch personal. Making your pitch personal is what makes your pitch memorable. Tell a story like I did in tip number 1 because people remember stories. It will help you stand out. Tip number 3, don't read your slides. Think about it. I don't need you to read what's on the slide for me. I can do that for myself. Remember, investors will not invest in your company unless they believe in you, full stop. And investors will not invest in your startup if they do not want to work with you. A great way to start building your relationship with investors is to add value and explain beyond what's on the slide. This positions you as the expert. And it positions you as the go-to person for information on your business. And it leads directly to my next tip. Tip number 4, minimize the text on your slides. White space is your friend. No investor wants to look at a slide that's got tons of text on it. I know the concern you have is that you need a lot of text to tell your story to an investor that wants a copy of your deck. The balance you want to strike is to have enough information on the slides so the pitch stands on its own. However, You don't want to overwhelm your audience with too much information because investors will not read the deck. The way you do this is minimizing the text on your slides to a few bullet points. That's it. The extra benefit of having a deck like this is it makes you the star of the show when you're presenting. Let's move on to the next item on our list, number 5. Make your pitch easy to follow. It's really important to remember that you are telling a story when you are pitching investors. In order for your story to stand out, you want the story to flow, to move easily from start to finish. So think hard about the order of your slides as you're practicing. If a slide feels like it's out of order, then change the order of the story so it flows. Then let's move on to number 6 on our list. Make sure you follow the axiom, one thought per slide. In other words, if you're showing investors how big the market is for your business, only show investors how big the market is for your business. For example, in LinkedIn's otherwise excellent Series B pitch deck, they made the mistake of adding social proof to their market slide, as you can see here. It's out of place, and it detracts from the story Reid Hoffman was trying to tell. Just remember, if you have 2 thoughts, then break these thoughts up into 2 slides. Next, let's move on to number 7 on our list. Don't hire a designer to help you with your deck. I know you want your deck to look pretty, but hiring a designer to pretty up your deck is a bad move. Let me explain why. First, investors do not care about how pretty your deck is. All they want is to make sure the information you are providing to them is easy to see. Doing this well only requires a simple white background, simple graphics with minimal text. Let me show you an example. Here's a slide from the original Airbnb pitch deck, and here's a modified version from SlideBeam. The information is so much easier to see with the original PowerPoint version of the deck than with SlideBeam. Now, if this content is resonating with you, then please hit the like button right now. One final thought. Think of your pitches as conversations between you and the investor. That's the best way for things to work. It's almost like you're talking to a friend. And when you're talking to a friend about your company, there's a back and forth with your friend. Well, you do need a pitch in a pitch deck, but you want your investor meetings to have the same conversational feel as that. You want investors to ask you tons of questions. In fact, the more questions investors ask, the better. And you want to be very prepared to answer every single question investors ask you. Just remember, if you do not know the answer to a question, then tell investors you don't know the answer to the question. You can't ever lie. Now, what did you learn from today's video? Put your answer in the comments column below today's video. And if you have any questions, put them in the comments column too, and I'll be happy to answer them for you. Now, I have one more thing for you today. It's my free startup pitch deck template. It has all the slides you need to develop an awesome pitch deck. Click the link below today's video and it's yours for free. And for more great content, click on the video at the end of today's video. And if you haven't already, then click the subscribe button to get notified every time you release a new video. I'm Brett at brettjfox.com. Thanks for watching today. Take care. Bye.